By Worldwire News, May 16, 2025, Analysis and Economy at South Africa prepares to table its revised national budget on May 21, 2025. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana faces one of the most daunting economic challenges in the country's recent history, a R75 billion, $4.1 billion, budget shortfall. This deficit emerged after the government abandoned a controversial but potentially lucrative proposal to increase value-added tax, VAT, from 15% to 16%. The decision, while politically motivated and socially considerate, has opened a complex debate on economic sustainability, coalition politics, and long-term fiscal health. Here's a critical look at the policy reversal, the motivations behind it, and its projected long-term impacts on South Africa's economy. The VAT hike, a difficult but economically sound option. Raising VAT is an unpopular policy, particularly in a nation with high inequality and persistent poverty. However, from a fiscal perspective, the move was logical. VAT is a broad-based consumption tax that contributes significantly to national revenue. A 1% increase could have brought in tens of billions of rand annually, offering much-needed relief to fund infrastructure, healthcare, and public sector wages. Yet the plan triggered strong opposition from coalition partners, especially the Democratic Alliance, who warned of its impact on lower-income households. Public backlash and threats of internal political destabilization ultimately forced the Treasury to abandon the proposal. Was it the right decision? Politically, perhaps. Economically, the cost may prove steep. Political expediency versus fiscal responsibility. South Africa's current government is held together by a fragile multi-party coalition, and maintaining unity requires constant compromise. In this instance, the decision to abandon the VAT hike reflects the short-term political survival instincts of the ruling bloc rather than a long-term economic strategy. But what is the price of this decision? A weakened fiscal position, which undermines the country's credibility in the eyes of international lenders and investors. Continued underfunding of public services, especially education, electricity, Eskom, and transport. Diminished investor confidence, which may impact capital inflows, currency stability, and future credit ratings. South Africa is already on watch lists for possible downgrades by global credit rating agencies. Abandoning structural revenue reforms without a clear alternative sends the wrong signal to markets. Government's proposed alternatives, are they enough? To address the shortfall, the Finance Ministry is considering a mix of spending cuts, drawing on reserves, and hoping for higher-than-expected tax revenues. Spending cuts may reduce waste in theory, but they are politically painful and difficult to enforce without harming service delivery. Tapping into reserves, such as the Gold and Foreign Exchange Contingency Reserve account, could provide temporary relief, but it weakens the country's financial buffers in case of future shocks. Higher tax revenues, while encouraging, are based on optimistic projections and may not materialize given the current slow GDP growth, projected at 1.0%, 1.5% for 2025. This strategy resembles fiscal patchwork, not long-term reform. Long-term impact: a shrinking fiscal space. The refusal to implement structural tax reforms while maintaining high spending commitments leads to a phenomenon economists call shrinking fiscal space. This means the government has fewer options and resources to react to future crises, be it a pandemic, commodity crash, or political upheaval. Without new revenue streams or major economic expansion, South Africa risks falling into a cycle of chronic borrowing, higher interest payments on debt, crowding out of public investment, sluggish economic growth. The longer-term impact could be stunted development, increasing unemployment, and a further erosion of public trust in government capacity. Missed opportunity for tax reform. Rather than scrap the VAT increase entirely, the government could have introduced targeted mitigating measures, such as zero-rating more essential goods to shield the poor, offering temporary VAT rebates or credits to low-income earners, phasing in the increase over 18 to 24 months. Such strategies would have balanced the need for revenue with the commitment to social justice. By retreating completely, the government may have missed a rare window for progressive tax reform. What lies ahead? The upcoming budget presentation on May 21st will be a pivotal moment. Should the government fail to present a credible, revenue-focused fiscal strategy, it risks triggering market volatility, increased cost of borrowing, a credibility crisis both domestically and internationally. Conversely, a well-structured plan that combines revenue mobilization, prudent spending, and clear reforms could stabilize investor confidence and open the door to South Africa's first credit rating upgrade in nearly 2 decades. A cautionary tale: decision to abandon the VAT hike may have prevented immediate political fallout, but it raises pressing questions about South Africa's economic future. Without bold, sometimes uncomfortable reforms, short-term appeasement could lead to long-term decline. As citizens, economists, and policymakers engage in this crucial debate, one truth remains: economic stability requires political courage, and time is running out. Megaphone emoji. Follow Worldwire News for continuing analysis on fiscal policy, political developments, and the state of Africa's economies. Speaking head emoji. Join the conversation. What's your take on the VAT reversal? Should revenue reforms take priority over political consensus? Share your thoughts below.